Why isn't it not playing? Why is it not playing? Go. So much for Apple Music.
Where does yesterday's
Stubborn on
future,
me.
which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Bonnie D in the house, and we're going to try and play one more piece of music. Let's see if this one will cooperate, because we've got another song here. Let's see if we can get this one to go. Here we go. Okay, we dish. Nope.
Are you tired?
Nope. Apple Music is not cooperating with me today. I'm Bonnie D. This is a special edition of Technology Revolution. My very special guest is, I consider him a friend. He's been on my shows for years and years and years. We're not that old, but we've been doing this a long time. When I started Coffee Break with Game Changers and the future of cars with Game Changers and all kinds of automotive related shows when I was working for SAP and after that for years. And he's Tom Madonna. And I recently invited him to be a very special guest on one of my new series, We Dish 2, capital TOO, Saucy Dame plus Cool Dude. I'm the Saucy Dame. I hope you agree with that, Tom. Are we good with that one? Yes, Tom, say hello.
Hi, how are you?
There you are. Very good. And Tom M, he goes by last initial because he's so famous now. He is my cool dude for today. So we're doing a special edition deep dive, and I'm going to open up with a special poem dedicated to Tom. Many of you who didn't see the actual We Dish Cool Dude show with Tom are going to have a treat today, because you're going to learn things about this man, this very smart, well-traveled, very interesting man with hobbies you may not know anything about, and you're going to learn an awful lot about him. So let me get started here, and here we go. You may know us well. See, I'm already in tears, Tom. I'm already crying. I'm so excited to see you. You know us well, Bonnie D and Tom M too, seasoned in life, and we love what we do. From LinkedIn's halls and social's embrace, let's hug for social's embrace, we love sharing our insights in this savvy people space. Now here on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Tom M, a cool dude on a lifelong quest. Here's my rhyming intro, then he'll tell us the rest. And here we go. The story of Tom M, a lifetime of tech and wheels. When Bonnie D speaks with Tom, vroom is how she feels. Tom M, this is a new poem, Tom. Tom M was born where the Rockies rise, Boulder, Colorado, neath open skies. In Louisville's halls, he found his stride with numbers and sports, marching side by side. To Texas they moved, where his youth took flight. Richardson's Road sparked mechanical delight. By 12, Tom had found his lifelong thrill, driving Grandpa's Ford pickup with speed and with skill. He was only 12. His first owned car, a Fairmont with a 305 flare, but dreams of a Porsche twinkled in the air. Twinkle, twinkle. He mowed and he babysat, working with intent through Midland High's Friday night lights he went. Math and computer science filled Tom's mental space, while football and marathons quickened his pace. At the University of Texas, Tom's path did expand. A BBA, an MS, an MIS, a lot of letters, an MBA in his hand. Then Tom cooked, served, and poured, while aware that balancing his studies took disciplined care. Then Coopers and Lybrand launched his career where business met tech, and both drew near. He wed his true love, now 34 years in, with 3 grown children and grandchildren grins. From DSC to PwC's might, Tom rose through mergers, always bold, always bright. He teaches at UTD, he'll tell us, minds to uplift with wisdom and warmth, his generous gift. Georgia Tech, Stanford, his learning is elite. In CRM and supply chain, Tom's knowledge complete. SAP is now his arena, vast and wide. From retail to rockets, Tom has been the guide. 48 states, 39 nations he's seen, a globe-trotting life, robust and keen. Collector of cars, over 40 and counting. His garage could tell tales, endlessly mounting. Tom golfs, he fishes, he grills with pride, and plays with his grandkids by the fireside. 4 homes he's called his personal base. Each one is a chapter in life's fast-paced race. Now Tom M. joins me with insight and spark, a cool dude always igniting innovation's arc. What do you think?
Great. Except one fact was off.
What?
Georgia Tech.
What? What did I have off?
Georgia Tech. I'm not Georgia Tech. I was Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, you know what? Sylvie put in tech. I apologize. Georgia Stanford, his learning's elite. There we go. So we're here on Technology Revolution Spotlight, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, cars, and oh, so much more. Join us live or on demand, day or night. Enjoy our dishing with shared delight. Meet us here for real in our live streaming glow. Comments are welcome. Just play nice. We know who you are. We know. We dish two saucy dame and cool dude too. Bonnie D and Tom M. Dishing on life's fun. Poor Vu. That's for you. So what do you think? Good intro?
Very good. Very good.
I'm
And
glad.
back to the car side.
Yes.
This was my Father's Day present.
Hold it up. Hold it up. You're disappearing. There we go. Hold it up a little higher under your nose there. What is it?
So I am driving on the Texas Motor Speedway
Yes.
in December.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 spots. One is the brand new ZR1. So 10,067 horse vet. And the other one is a Cayenne GT4 RS. So I will have some interesting stories to tell come Christmas.
Wow. What kind of speed are we talking about here?
Well, it depends upon how many people are on the track, but at this point in time, 180 plus is possible.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Do you have a good insurance policy? Sorry, I had to ask.
So this will be my fourth experience. Most of them have been with BMW. This will be the first one where it's not been a BMW, but in general, they put you on a curve track and then basically teach you how to break through the curves and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see with the Texas Motor Speedway. It's it's basically a 2.5 mile track. So you're in one big oval. Last time I did a similar was the Nissan test track in Arizona, and we were in a 350 on the Celeron, and ultimately when you get going about 85, you're not driving yourself, so you're in the passenger side, but the driver then takes his hands off the wheel. And because you're going at 85 and the way that the track is built, you basically stay almost at a 90-degree horizontal to the ground. So when you're looking down at the ground.
How much adrenaline is coursing through your veins? How fast is your heart beating?
Quite a bit.
Yeah. Are you ever worried about the ticker? Do you say, be still my heart, or let's let it go? What do you think?
Certain people do, sky diving, et cetera. I've always had a comment that said, I don't jump out of good planes. But skydiving is not one of them. But I do like, to be on the water. I do like to have some speed. So.
There you go. Well, my speed is driving 3 miles to the grocery store every week. Tom, I get gas so seldom in my car that I forgot how to open the gas tank last time, and I almost had to ask the man inside. I pay cash. They have a stealth card reader somebody put on the machine outside, so we don't use credit cards there. But I gave him the cash, and it's funny. I said I haven't been here in 4 months. I don't drive, and it's a BMW, by the way. No racing for me. And I handed him a $30. I said this will probably be too much. I didn't know how much. It came to $29.87, and I went in and I said, I'd like my 13 cents change, please. And he gave it to me. And I didn't know how to open the gas tank. Anyway, there's a car show all of a sudden. Listen, let's do our format for We Dish. Let's see if we can cover a couple things here. So first of all, welcome, Tom M. Tom Madonna. It's always a delight to see you. And you're always surprising me with such interesting things that you do. Looking at you, it's like, Okay, there's Tom. He's a nice looking guy. He's got a great career. He's got a family. But you come up with these racing things and the cooking, which we're going to talk about, I hope, and the cars and everything. And that's why I like talking to you because you're full of surprises. So I appreciate that. So I hope you're not shy today because we have a different audience, even though nobody is watching right now on LinkedIn, Facebook. Hello to nobody. There you go. I thought some of your friends would watch. We'll have to send them the on-demand links. They know you're here, though. They do. So let's go through. First of all, we'd like to do the cool dude songs from you and the saucy dame songs from me, just to keep with my format for We Dish. So you got any cool dude songs that have been with you your whole life or that have powered you or that are just your favorite? Do they inspire you? Do they make you happy? Do they make you think of things? Give me a couple songs.
Well, grew up as a rocker.
Hmm.
So all the way from high school through college, I was into rock, and some of that came from my dad. Once I got into college, towards later college, I did a little bit of country, and then from there back into rock, et cetera. But I listened to a lot of different music. But as you start to think about a couple of the songs that really kind of send back to me, one first 8-track ever owned was Desperado, and so ultimately
Is that
Eagles.
Linda Ro Oh, the Eagles. Okay.
Eagles.
Desperado. Go ahead.
So that whole soundtrack, and that's led to finally being able to see the Eagles at the Sphere last year. Um, you go back to another concert I did last summer. I go back to "Don't Stop Believing"
Oh,
when it came out, from Journey,
yep.
and at this point in time, obviously, there's a little bit less of a liking of the song without Steve singing it, but at this point in time, the new singer, though they're kind of on the outs now with the credit card, but at this point in time, they did play the concert. But it was interesting as we went to the Sphere, and
Hmm.
beautiful, 140,000 speakers, no issues, very loud, but you never heard it. We go the next night to Dolby to see Maroon 5, and I swore walking out of that theater, my ears were bleeding based upon
What?
yeah, based upon the
What?
loudness and everything else. It was just, I walked out with headache, pounding head, etc. Later that summer, we went to the what they call the Stadium Series. So it
Hmm.
was Def Leppard, Journey, Steve Miller, and at that point in time, Steve Miller replaced Hart because of the announcement she had with her cancer research. But we were able to see a bunch of the old songs, including "Don't Stop Believing," and then I do love several of Steve Miller's, all the way from Joker to you go down
Yep.
the list. So
I
I kind of grew up in that piece. So I listened a lot to The Ridge for my
hmm
soft listening on XM, and then obviously Classic Rewind, which are all the cassette series. So when I finally got rid of my music collection, I had somewhere around 700 cassettes, about 500 CDs, and I still have, and you can't see it because of the background, but I still have my classic vinyl sitting back here. So for the third song, I'm gonna have to go back to.
I
Uh,
think we're at 50 songs already, Tom, but keep going. Go ahead.
we'll have to go to the Beatles, and so I'll do Yesterday or Long Running Road or even Lady Madonna, just to give homage, etc. But yeah, music to me has been always something that I do, whether I'm on the beach, whether I'm fishing, whether I'm out in the back. At this point in time, my wife wants the TV on, I want the radio on. So.
Interesting. Do you use services like Pandora or do you use Ask Alexa to play music? I do that.
Actually I use XM, so I've got XM
Okay.
on my phone. So and then I
Oh,
carry. So I've got outside wireless speakers, the Sonos, outside speaker. We've got two or three small speaker sets that we carry to the beach when we go vacationing, etc. So the music's always there, and I'm always carrying it. And basically, it's music until the phone dies. So.
welcome to musictechnology.com with Tom Madonna. This is amazing. You've touched on a lot of the singers I enjoy, the bands I enjoy. I am a fan of Steve Miller Band, but I wouldn't tell you that because it's not at the top of my list. But I love that driving sound that they have, that orchestration. I've always been a fan of that. You've mentioned several that I like. I'm going to give you my list. Yeah, I can't compete with yours, but I have a new list. Number one, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Cyndi Lauper, and Groove and the Young Rascals. Those go back a while. An important song to me and Bobby McGee, 1971 from Janis Joplin. And the key there, Tom, is freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And that's why I do these shows. Nothing left to lose. Hit me with your best shot. This is about what's happened along the way. Hit me with your best shot, Pat Benatar. Respect, Aretha Franklin, Respect. I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. And New Attitude, Patti LaBelle. That's got a life curve to it, those four songs. Then we've got Dancing Queen by ABBA and Happy Dance by Mercy Me. It's a Christian music band, and I don't follow them, but they have a great video to a song called Happy Dance. If you want to have a good time, put that on. Find the music video on YouTube, and you just won't be able to sit still. I've Had the Time of My Life by Bill Medley from Dirty Dancing. Well, I'm not done yet. And then there's the Donna Summer discography that tells my story. She works hard for the money. Hot Stuff. I have never been a streetwalker in LA, but I've been called Hot Stuff a lot of times in my day. On the radio, how long have I been doing this? 25 years? Too bad she doesn't have a song called Shy Girl. No More Tears. Enough is enough. Enough is enough is enough. I think that's a duet with Streisand. Last Dance. Well, I don't do exhibition dancing or I used to give dance concerts and exhibitions with my partners over the years and do stage work, but now it's just I dance in the kitchen to Megan Trainor, and I feel love with that Giorgio Moroder beat, that boom beat, that box beat that's just it's synthetic, but it really, really gets you moving. And I have a couple songs, Tom. I've researched the top Hot 100 songs from 1978. Don't say anything about the year, but I love the songs from that era. And you may recognize a couple of these. Shadow Dancing by Andy Gibb. Shadow Dancing. I used to teach people to dance to that song. Night Fever, How Deep Is Your Love and Staying Alive, the Bee Gees, who were Andy Gibb also, the brother. You Light Up My Life, Debbie Boone. Remember that? You Light Up My Life. Okay. Boone's daughter. This one you may not know. A Taste of Honey sang a song called Boogie, Oogie, Oogie. That's from my disco days. And there was a wonderful hustle song called Native New Yorker by a group called Odyssey. I even look at the name and I start to dream about the good old days. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, you know they were together in Greece. You're the One That I Want. Ooh, 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 ooh. I like that. Barry Manilow. How could I have a list without Barry Manilow? Can't smile without you. And At the Copa, Copa, Copa. I always promise not to sing.
You
And
know,
two did.
he can't frown right now. So much work done.
I haven't seen him in a while. I'll have to tell him you said so. And two songs from my era, Shame by Evelyn Champagne King. My partner Michael and I did a presentation, I hate to use the word exhibition, to a group of teachers at the college where I was teaching. I had 101 fever. I went anyway, didn't go near anybody, and we danced to Shame, and we were on a carpet. The next day, my fever was completely gone. So Evelyn Champagne King cured me. And then Disco Inferno by the Tramps. Oh, what a song. And of course, Steely Dan's Deacon Blues. Great piece of music. So those are my songs. So,
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
What was your first concert?
My first concert, I'm trying to remember. I haven't been to an awful lot of live concerts. I'll tell you what, I used to be the Friday night drive time host on AM 1240 WGBB. It was a radio station, the oldest AM station on Long Island. And the show after mine was Mickey B., the Prince of Rock and Roll. And I was invited to his stage concerts at the old renovated Patchogue Theater way out on Long Island. And the oldies rock and roll groups were there. And I actually saw the Platters with Herb Reed, who was almost completely deaf and couldn't sing a real note. And he came out, was like, okay, Herb, you can go back now. It was mostly young. I saw a lot of acts there. I also saw acts at the Jones Beach Marine Theater, which had on the water, and it was stadium seating, and we took our boat there sometimes, and I saw a lot of it. So I don't even remember who I saw there. Concert, I was a stringer reporter for the Improper magazine on Long Island, and I used to be able to sit in the 14th row on the aisle seat on this theater in the round, and I attended and reported on Patti LaBelle live, Johnny Mathis. I got to talk to him. I did an article for him. He called me, Hello, Bonnie. This is John Mathis. I thought I'd fall off my chair. Neil Sedaka, I got to see him in concert. So those weren't first, but those are my memorables. What do you think?
Good. Right. I have one that was interesting is it was a third concert for this particular band from the UK,
Mm-hmm.
just come to the US. The concert was not sold out. It was their first album. It was their
Yes.
first stop and very famous for a schoolboy outfit.
Okay. Who we
ACD
think?
Back in Black.
Okay. Oh my goodness gracious.
So it was, I would say, probably 80% full
Okay.
In Midland, Texas, with an album that had been out about 5 or 6 weeks. First trip to the United States, third stop, and here they come. And by the time they finished their concert at the end of that particular run, everything was sold out and they were doing multiple dates. But no one knew them when they raised
Wow.
them out.
Wow. And you were there. How exciting. How exciting. Let's go to off the top, fast and furious. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and I'll give my own answers because this is not an interview. We're having a conversation. Number one, what powers your day, Tom M? Is it a breakfast? Is it a food? Is it a drink? What gets you going? Is it coffee? Is it a meal? Give us quickly. What do you got?
Well, it was coffee. This couple weeks, I've actually started getting sick on coffee in the morning if I don't have something else in the stomach. So at this point,
Oh
yeah, for whatever reason, it's just about it. It's just acidosis on the stomach. But what powers me is getting up, seeing everybody, getting going, the dogs. At this point in time, we've talked about, I've got 6 dogs, two that come from my in-laws that we've inherited now, and then our 4. So if it's not 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and it's happened to be 6 o'clock in the morning, it's great. I got to sleep in. If not, it's it's getting up and taking them out.
there must be something. You have a piece of toast. Talk about putting something in your stomach to have with that coffee. What do you have that gets your body going? Come on, give me
I
something.
really don't. I mean, at this point in time, if I happen to be out or we happen to be on vacation or something, I may eat breakfast. Typically, I don't. If I'm out traveling, I do. But
What would
typically,
that breakfast be? What would that breakfast be? Let's go there.
eggs, sausage, eggs, bacon.
Eggs, how?
Usually sunny side up.
Okay. All right, good. You know, mine is a banana milkshake with 8 ounces of 1 or 2% milk, a couple of slices of frozen unsweetened strawberries, a squirt of raw agave organic syrup, a banana, a whole medium or a half of a large one or 2 tiny ones. And sometimes I sneak in a couple shots of dry cocoa, unsweetened cocoa, which is very hard to get right now. I paid $18 for the last box, and I got the last 4 from Target through my daughter. They don't sell it anymore because of the Ivory Coast is having some climate issues. I don't know
Mm.
whether it's too wet or too dry, but high-end cocoa, good cocoa is hard to get. But I see chocolate bars anyway. And once in a while, I'll sneak in a couple spoonfuls of Breyer's homemade vanilla ice cream, and it makes it thick. And then I have a personal Hamilton Beach blender, and I just ordered a new one. Pulse it a couple times, and take off the lid and put in a reusable straw, and that just starts my day. That just starts my day. That's wonderful. Okay, we did that one. Now let's see what else we got here. Something you lost or broke along the way that you wish you still had. What do you got?
Hmm. Lost or broke.
Lost or broke?
I think there's been a couple, trophies, that I've gotten over the course of my years that, you throw in the closet and they broke, you throw them away, et cetera. Because I've had a lot of questions from my son, and I've had a lot of questions now, starting with the grandkids, is getting stuff is, did you get trophies? It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting enough is that, back when they were growing up, it was all participation trophies, et cetera. So, you always got the little ones, you didn't get the big ones. And of course, us growing up, I always got the big ones, the ones you couldn't carry, et cetera. But there were a couple that, were great moments that, having them around, being able to show the kids, et cetera, be great. So I would say something like that.
Something like that. That's cool. You know, mine is my story of my 370 white Z with the red leather interior and the red rag top that was in an accident that I miraculously survived. Oh yeah, 360 on 85 mile an hour on a rainy road across 3 lanes of traffic, and nobody stopped, nobody called for help, nobody hit me, nobody beeped, nobody screamed, and I sat there facing traffic on the guardrail, and nobody even knew I was there. That's what I call my disappearing act. But I loved that car. I did love that car, and I miraculously found a Z, but it was a black Z4 I-Series BMW, and it's got a nice convertible top on it, and it's the one I take now 3 miles each way to the grocery store each week. What can I tell you, Tom? So that's something I broke or lost that was my last real Z, and I really enjoyed that. So let's see now. I think we're getting wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that phone's ringing? Hold on. Hold on. Can you hear that?
Hmm.
Tom, did you hear? Oh my goodness. Who is? Let me see. Let me take. Listen, I'm live on the air with Tom. Okay, wait a minute. Who is there? Steven Spielberg? Martin Scorsese? James Cameron? Guy Ritchie? Kubrick? J.J. Abrams? Come on. Francis Ford Coppola? Chuck Lorre? David Kelly? Shonda Rhimes? Seriously, you want to make a movie about Tom, but not an autobiography, not a biopic. Okay, you want him to pick who's going to direct it, a movie or a TV show, regular or limited series. You want him to pick is it going to be sci-fi, drama, thriller, comedy, musical, action, time travel, romance? I don't know what. Who's going to play Tom and anybody else he wants in the film? That's a lot of questions. Can you all go get some coffee or have breakfast or something? Tom's picking up the tab. It's okay. And I will ask him and we'll call you back after the show, okay? Thank you very much. Oh, how nervy of these people to interrupt us during a live show, Tom. I can't believe it. Jordan, I found the sound effect for the phone. Jordan told me to put sound effects in. Okay, Tom, you're up. What's your movie, your TV show? You're a character in it. It's about your life, but it's not a biopic. What is it going to look like? Talk to me.
I would say a cross between Godfather and Goodfellas. Scorsese directs it, and as far as who plays me, that one would have to be determined based upon what and where and how. But at this point in time, the family and I do enjoy a good gangster movie. So
Gangster movie. Do you think you might want to play yourself? I've never asked this. The directors have never said that they would hire the person to do their own. But what do you think? Would you like to be that gangster? We got to get you a hat and a dark suit. And what do you think? Gangster
well,
Tom.
it's interesting, and I know that you've met Lance, so he works for me. He's also an Italian, and he was doing getting ready for a similar podcast, and he shows me a picture, and it's black suit, white shirt, very pale yellow tie, almost looks like a white tie, and
Uh-huh.
and a square. And the first thing I asked him is, I said, "Are you standing on plastic?" So we have this running Italian thing going back and forth, but I would say probably not play myself. I think I would go back a generation, actually 2 generations. We were talking a little bit about your mama when she passed. My grandfather
Yep.
passed at 104. We
Mm-hmm.
had, his brothers, two of the brothers in the 10, went to Chicago for some business and didn't come home.
Oh,
My grandfather and a couple of his brothers went to Las Vegas, finished up some business, and were told never to come back. So there are some interesting pieces to the lore of the family that we could probably play off of.
okay. When you're describing that tie, very pale, I call that lemon ice, that color.
Yeah.
Lemon ice. Yes. By the way, I have to tell you, I have a new recipe that I discovered partly from a recipe from Alexa. I now buy a pint of fresh strawberries almost every week, and I let them sit in the fridge for a couple of days. They get a little riper, not much, and then I cut them up right under the stem, cut them in slices, put them in a pan with about quarter cup of sugar. I know, Bonnie, you shouldn't be eating sugar. Well, I am. Get over it. And about a third of a big lemon, fresh lemon, with a spoon, just squeezing out the juice. And then instead of grating the lemon zest off the skin, I take a sharp knife and I slice the top layer of the yellow off the skin and I cut it into little pieces, not shreds, not shredded. I want those pieces of lemon. Little tiny bit of water, put it in a pan, boil it, watch it carefully, reduce it to just a low simmer, and let it cook for about a half hour. Then I let it cool and I put it in a cup in the fridge. It is homemade strawberry preserves, Tom, that you would not believe. But the lemon, it's no pectin, it's pectin free. That's what's special about it. The lemon, the little bits of that lemon zest become part of the taste of the fruit.
Mhm.
And you'll take a bite of the strawberry, and then you'll get this little piece that you just bite into, and the lemon zest bursts out. So if you like it, I'll send you the recipe. What do you think?
Sure, sure.
Goes great on a piece of raisin toast. It goes
Exactly.
great on a my
Kid,
my my.
grandkids are now in the peanut butter and jelly. So at this point in time, they love
Oh,
strawberry jello.
that
So
would be unbelievable. I buy little mini everything bagels at my Food Lion here. They make them fresh. I buy a 10 bag and put them in there. They're mini, so there's, you don't count the calories for those. And peanut butter, and sometimes I smear this on, and it's just it's like dessert. You put it on vanilla ice cream. Anyway, we're getting into too much food here. My movie would be a TV show. It would be starring Reba McEntire, probably. She has a new show called Happy's Place. She would be me, and it would be a musical comedy, and it would have some funny people in it, and I might even make a guest appearance doing something at a bar or wherever it was. And it would be Reba. People have recommended that I ask Bette Midler to do it, but it also could be Bonnie Raitt because she has red hair too. And I used to have a TV show in New York for many, many years called Something to Talk About. Let's give them something to talk about. Well, that could be the name of the show, but I think I would go to one of the Donna Summer songs and it would be either Hot Stuff or She Works Hard for the Money. What do you think?
yep.
Yep.
Actually,
Okay.
Reba's. Did you see the her opening for the CMA?
No, I didn't. Should I go back and find it?
Go back and find it. So they just made a release and they showed it, and I think half of the audience were in tears because it really talked about how country bumpkins were the people listening to country and it wasn't cool and everything else. So she opened up the show saying, this point in time, country doesn't have to be cool. Country's been here. Country's been around. I'm going to take something out of the history books, et cetera. And she sang it. And
Oh,
they've been very, 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 just opened up a whole series of emotions that people hadn't been really thinking about. So,
see, that's what music does. I watch a lot of French, that French and Italian TV shows, detective series, and I leave the subtitles on. I love hearing the language. Netflix was doing a survey, an email survey yesterday. Do you like to watch dubbed series or the original language with the subtitles? I am greatly opposed to dubbed because I have some French series that have been dubbed, and listening to the English American sounding voices coming out of the actors, and I know what their real voices are, is disappointing to me. It's phony, it's fake. People would say, but isn't that what AI is? Well, it kind of is another version of that. We haven't talked about AI at all, and I want to do that because that's one of the themes of this show. But I have one more question on this part before we go to our wacky story. So, Tom, vacation spots. Top two where you've been in your life and top two where you would still like to go. Tell me.
actually, got both of them already planned in the next year.
I'm
So,
not surprised.
the one I'll answer the second question first. So the one I haven't been that I wanted to go, we go on July 24th, and we are going to Cabo. And I'm going because it's in the middle of yellowfin season. And so I've had many of my colleagues and friends go down, and I've seen countless number of pictures taken where three, four, five guys have worked, 4 or 5 hours to pull in a 350 pound yellowfin. So ultimately, I'm
How many
fishing
pounds? How many pounds?
350 pound was the last one that they caught.
And
So,
they're all these guys are holding one fishing rod?
well, they no, they rotate. So
They
ultimately,
rotate. Okay. Oh,
yeah.
thank goodness. I thought that
We
was a
did a similar
trap.
thing when we caught a 16-foot tiger last summer in Florida. Took us 2 hours, and there were four guys on the boat, and each person got two turns of 15 minutes to basically reel. But it took us 2 hours to get him up to where we could actually cut the line, take pictures, and cut the line. So,
Wow.
so that's number two. Number one
Oh, wait a minute.
is
Wait, do you cut up and eat the yellowfin? Or
oh,
you,
absolutely, absolutely.
oh,
So
and
I cook. We eat it sushi, sashimi. I'll cook it. We'll make tacos. So.
oh. Now I'm getting hungry. Forget the banana shake. I'm gonna go find some. Yeah, that's interesting. And is yellowfin, does it taste different from other types of tuna?
Yellowfin and bluefin. Bluefin is the Japanese, equivalent of toro, et cetera. Yellowfin, you can get yellowfin anywhere, including Japan. It is more common than bluefin, but has a little bit milder flavor than bluefin. Blackfin's got a very dark, got a heavier than blue. So if you look at the three variations, and then you got blue stripers. Blue stripers are in the tuna family, but they're very it's a very bloody meat. So
Okay.
so you have to blanch it, etc. So it's very 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 dark. So I would say probably 5 or 6 shades of your microphone darker than
Okay, that's dark. That's dark. I had a run-in with a fish story. May I tell you my fish story?
Sure.
I went to the Food Lion and they don't have a live fish counter where somebody will cut pieces of salmon or whatever. It's all packaged. But was a gentleman behind it, and I said, "Could you please point out to me where the salmon that's a little bit on sale because it's a little expensive, where those are because I didn't see the for sale sign." And a man with a long silver ponytail, a little lighter than your color, with a hairnet on, about 60-ish, came out and he said, "How could I help you?" And I said, "Excuse me, are you from New York?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm from New York. What about it?" And I said, "Where you from?" And he said, "This is true, it was 2 weeks ago." And he said, "I grew up in New Hampshire, but I moved to upstate New York, and I'm a New Yorker." I said, "What the heck are you doing in Loudon, Tennessee?" "Well, it's a long story." And I said, "Listen, you're not really from New York. I'm from New York, and I don't talk like that." And he said, "Everybody in the fish department," he's delightful. His name is Mark. And my friend Don, my neighbor Don, came with me to the store. And I said, "Don, who is an Italian gentleman, came over." I said, "Don, meet Mark. He thinks he's from New York. We're really from New York." Nobody's ever heard me talk this way. And so I said, "So how do you get along here?" And he said, "They call me Tony Baloney, and I don't know why." And I said, "As long as they don't call you the Godfather, you're okay." So I saw him the next week and I said hello, and he said, "How you doing, Red?" And I said, "I'm good, Tony Baloney." Anyway, so that's my fish story. I bought the frozen salmon. It was really good. Anyway, where else? I'm sorry, Tom. Where else do you want to go besides Cabo? What's on your next
That one's
list?
the one I haven't been. The one we have been and we go and we enjoy and we bought and everything else is Aruba. So we
Oh,
bought timeshare down in Aruba. We've been 10, 11 times because of the pregnancies and the births this year on the grandkids. Everyone said they're out this year for Aruba. We went in April last year. So this year we chose to go elsewhere. So we're doing Dustin and Cabo, and then we pick back up on Aruba next March for 3 weeks.
is there anything you don't do? You fish, you cook, you drive, you speed cars, you travel. Is there anything you've always been just Tom M, who's been on my shows about cars. And then I invited you for a Cool Dude a while ago, and now you're here. Do most people know all this about you? Am I the last one to learn?
I think a lot of it's how how people will get introduced to me, and then how things go. I mean, for example, I cooked last Monday. We had a partner come in for account planning, and I
Uh-huh.
had my team come in, and I did a big shish kebab barbecue. So we had shrimp shish kebabs to start with, which were spicy, sugar and spicy. There was Asian zing on them. We did some chicken and some steak kebabs. I did a caprese from all the tomatoes out of my garden. At this point in time, I have had 4 harvests that have been bowls like this. So I've done sauce 3 times. We did the caprese, and then I also did a Caesar. And so everyone basically ate for forever. And though the guys weren't knowing that I was not drinking, the guys from the partners brought me a Magnum of Camus, 50th anniversary Magnum of Camus.
Very nice. How many days did it take you to prepare all that food?
I bought most everything the week before. I did some cutting up on Monday before I started cooking. So 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay, you're amazing. Tell me something. I want to know what my favorite places were. I was in Cancun years ago by myself, flew from Eugene, Oregon to San Francisco, caught in a hurricane, slept on the seats in the airport for 8 hours, got taken to Dallas, Texas, and then to Cancun, where the palm trees were lying on their sides. But I had a great time. A family from New Jersey adopted me, and we became pals. And then I flew back in a snowstorm to Eugene, Oregon, over Boise, Idaho. I missed all the charter flights because I booked too late. And I was in Paris years ago. My daughter was studying in Aix-en-Provence, and she came up. Her time was up, her tour was up, and she met me in Paris. And I was the banker, she was the spokesperson, and we did Paris on foot. And we bought food for dinner almost every night at little local
Yep.
stores, and we had the only air conditioned room in this third floor walk up hotel. It was 100 degrees, and we ate on a blanket on the floor on a towel after we soaked our feet in ice cold water in the tub, and we watched French news TV in the hotel room and ate local food, and it was wonderful. So I would consider going back at some point, but not in the near term. We got to talk a little bit about AI before we do our wacky stories. We've got about 15 minutes left, which is a lifetime on live streaming. So, and by the way, I think we got a shout out from Kay Werner from SAP. I saw that she commented, and I think Bill Newman might have left a comment. I'm seeing they're not watching, but I'm seeing emails pop up. So, AI in your cars, in the what you're doing, you're racing. Is there what's going on with artificial intelligence in the world of automotive that you're still involved in professionally? Just briefly, Tom. We have to cover that because that's the show.
I think the big thing that we're seeing right now in automotive is AI use for design, development, and testing. In particular, what we're seeing is faster design, faster recovery, faster testing execution, therefore bringing models to market quicker. Obviously, the whole administration and change with EV versus not, there's been a shift back and forth. And I think one of the things that's been very beneficial for the AI process in this particular process area has been the fact that they are able to switch out the motors and everything else very quickly and be able to recoup. And that's one of the reasons why you see for GM, et cetera, hey, we're going to delay this EV by a year. We're going to stop doing this. We're not going to roll that out, except all of that's done. And all that basically just ripples effect through. I think the other thing that's pretty interesting about AI is you start to see the advancements, and we've talked about it in a couple shows about the driverless vehicles and driverless cars and the conversions. So both my vehicles right now are level 2, and the level 3 just came out. And interesting enough, you think of everything that could go right in regards to driving and autonomous vehicles and self-driving and hands-free, et cetera. And the thing that's stopping them right now, polarized sunglasses.
What? Repeat that, please. This is breaking news. Why? Who's wearing them, and how polarized are they? Go ahead. What does this mean?
The cameras cannot see through the polarized sunglasses. So if you're driving and you've got
Yeah.
level 3, you've got a camera pointed at you, they're watching you watch the road. And if you've got sunglasses on, the car immediately starts going, please put your hands back on the wheel. Please take control. Please watch what you're doing. Please. So, and then to the point where if I don't do anything, then we start getting the whole jigging and everything else that goes with it. But it cannot see through the polarized sunglasses. So I was told by the dealership as a service bulletin back from the OEM, do not wear polarized sunglasses, wear regular sunglasses if you're going to drive the vehicle and use hands-free. I said, you got to be kidding me. After all the stuff we're being doing, you put all of this stuff in the vehicle, you put all of the tin on the vehicle, you put everything else, and now I've got to change sunglasses because you can't do
That's
what,
one of
what,
your that's one of your wacky
story?
stories. That's one of your
Yeah.
wacky stories for today. That counts as one.
Oh,
Let's move into wacky stories now, but I have one for you. I'd like to share this because I think you're going to enjoy this. Let me just share my screen here, and I've got to share this with you, Tom. I picked this for you. Did you know that the world's first mass-produced flying car prototype has been unveiled recently? Have you seen this?
I have.
You have. You've seen everything. Eager teens reaching driving age in the next few years may be able to take their inaugural spin in a car in the sky created by Slovakia-based company Klein Vision. The Air Car, AIRCAR, capital A, capital C, one word, production prototype made its debut just this couple weeks ago, May 8th, after its insider debut at the 2025 Living Legends of Aviation Awards. Isn't that interesting? Tom, at an aviation awards ceremony, and guess who presented it? Presented the founder with an award, Morgan Freeman and John Travolta. And the article didn't have their picture, but I just want to show this. Is that something?
Yep, and I can understand Travolta. Can't understand Newman or Freeman. John's got his own hangar, his own plane, etc. But I'm not sure about Morgan.
Here's another picture of it, and they spent 20 years converting the flying car dream into reality. It completed 170 flight hours, 500 takeoffs and landings, transformation from car to aircraft in less than 2 minutes. It's his lifelong dream. Footage is on YouTube from the last few years, one from April 2024 showing the first passenger to go for a ride. Here's the price. Everybody start saving your pennies. No expensive salmon or trips for anybody. Klein Vision says the mass-produced model is expected to be priced between 800 grand and $1 million, depending on the luxury features. What do you think, Tom?
It's actually not bad for a price of a private Cessna right now. So that's not bad. I think the other piece of that is if it's going to have the speed of 155 in the air, what's going to do on the ground, and then secondarily to that, then you start looking into okay, so do you buy a Lamborghini? Do you buy this? And then if you buy this, what extra options do you get with, et cetera? So I think it's interesting. Actually, the other one I've seen that's been interesting is they're now marketing as the first commercial robotaxi, and it's
Mm,
a flying robotaxi, and it's got a little bit different. It looks like, to me, it looks like a giant drone, but it seats four people.
mm, mm. Interesting. Four
It's
people.
it just received approval for, I believe it was California, Arizona, for ability to go and use in that direction. So it's getting close. I predicted end of 25.
Hmm.
Oh, that I go
There you
back.
go.
That would have been what, 21 or 22 prediction show.
Yep,
So
absolutely. We'll have to go back and gather all of your. I'll get Opus Clip to do a compilation of all of your. Give me another wacky story. I've got one more, and then we're almost done. Go ahead.
all right. So of my wacky stories, I think the one that I found to be the weirdest. Uh,
Okay.
was the snake on the plane. That
Oh
one?
no. Okay, I'm not going to listen to this. You just say it. Go ahead. Please
So,
don't show anything.
so a snake on the plane got onto the plane in Australia, and they found it as it came out of the cargo bay into the passenger structure into the cabin, and they had to have an emergency landing to basically get it. And then the pictures are showing the luggage crew and the ramp crew basically going after the snake. So to me, it's like, okay, everything else that could go wrong, now you got snakes. So
Now you can.
what was the movie? Actually, I think it might
Snakes
have,
on a plane. There was a movie.
I think it was Morgan Freeman, or it was
Yeah.
Samuel Day Lewis, or not Samuel, Samuel.
Yes.
Yes, but they had
Yes.
snakes on the plane. So
Yep. Samuel Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson. Yes. I'm going to show you my next one. Here we go. Share, share. Okay, there we go. Here. This I thought you would be interesting. This article just came out a couple days ago, actually yesterday. The world's largest time capsule was cracked open in Nebraska 50 years after being sealed. You didn't see this article, did you, Tom?
did not see this one.
Oh, thank goodness gracious. At least I got one you don't know. In 1975, a 45-ton treasure trove dubbed the world's largest time capsule was sealed in a small town in Nebraska, of all places. It was the year the Vietnam War ended. Microsoft was founded. What a year. And the movie Jaws was released. What a year. Fast forward 50 years, and the artifacts are unveiled to the public last Friday, drawing hundreds of people from across the country. Let me go past all of this. The contents included handwritten letters, a wedding invitation, voice recordings, pet rocks. What you're looking at is a yellow Chevy Vega. That's why I picked this for you, and a teal suit. It took 3 days to open, and the majority of what they had inside did pretty well. The father of the woman who talked about this created a ventilation system to keep moisture out of the capsule. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. It offers a special opportunity for people to reflect on both their past and present selves. It's not about what's inside, it's about what inside of us and who we were back in 1975 and who we are today. Cool beans?
Nice.
Yeah, I did that for you. I thought you would appreciate that. Finally, I found an article you didn't see first. Okay. Last time you were on the show, I did one about the nine ob sports that U.S. presidents were involved. Remember their hobbies and their sports, or no, is it nine sports that nobody does today that have really weird names, and you knew every single one of them? You did. So you're just a tough act to beat there. I'm going to get ready to do the outro music. We have about 6 minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about advice, Tom. Let's say a young person, if we know anybody, is watching and says, Tom is a really cool dude. He cooks, he drives, he travels, he fishes. I don't know if he hunts, but he's got a family. He loves to own cars. He's got cool glasses, shades. He watches the news. He knows about artificial intelligence. He's got a great job. He's been to a lot of places around the world. I'm trying to paraphrase here, Tom. I want to be like Tom M when I grow up. They even want to have M for their last name initial, regardless of what their name is. It's a cult we're doing here. Tom, what advice would you give them? We have 4 minutes left. Go ahead.
I think the same advice I give to my kids, same advice I give to my in-law kids is be true to yourself, be true to the execution. Don't mind failure. At this point in time, your best teachers are on the moments you fail and how you basically react to them. I think the other thing is, being true to yourself is doing the things you like to do and doing the things that you want to do. And if you do all that, then usually you're going to find happiness in regards to something. Now, long and short, if you don't, then keep trying. Because at this point in time, it's one of those things where, I wouldn't say that an attempt is a failure, but ultimately, if you find something you don't like, then off you go. And my son was a big, going back to sports, my son was a big piece in that. So he tried, I don't know, 10, 15 different sports, and then finally settled on hockey and rugby. So one of my, I had to make one last piece. So one of my other stories was they are now contemplating water rugby for the Olympics.
Water rugby.
So
How?
they will use the water polo structure and play rugby in the water. So my question is, if you ever played rugby and you scrum and everything else, shouldn't take that long to basically take someone to the bottom of the pool and then take the ball away from them. But at this point in time, that was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So, but yes, true to yourself and try the things that you like and make sure that when you're successful and you're helping somebody up, and ultimately, your leadership and mentorship is there for others to use.
Thank you. In the long rhyming bio I read for you in the beginning, one of the key words that jumped out at me was you learned early on how to balance hobbies, pastimes, passions with work, with studying. You were doing everything. I got 3 minutes. Just a comment, Tom. How do you balance? Let's say somebody is in school. I want to skip college, or I don't want to drop out of school, and I want to go be a sports car driver because I heard from Tom that if I get this really cool car and I don't wear the reflective shades, I can do this and I can do that. And who needs school? What would you advise to somebody? It could be a woman or a man, a young woman, young man. What advice on striving for balance, but understanding the need for balance, that at later in life you will appreciate having balanced some of this with some of that. Just quickly, got 1 minute, go.
Yeah, both of my advanced degree, actually all three of my advanced degrees are done while I was married, had kids, and working. So balance was part of it. All three kids were born and raised while I was traveling. So balance was part of it. Making sure you put things on the calendar early and then you basically try for it is good. So if there was a recital or a game that I was going to basically have to be back for, it was on the calendar, early. I, moved travel around, et cetera. So I was able to do that, and, balance was part of it. And I think one of the things you brought up in regards to education versus not, I think everyone needs to think about going to whatever that secondary learning source may be, let it be college, university, trade school, et cetera. But again, it goes back to being true to yourself. Pick what you want to do and make sure that you can make a living at what you want to do, and then go for it. And if it doesn't require a college degree, then so be it.
So be it. Yeah.
At this point in time, I've set up 529s for the grandkids. And if they come back to me at some point and say, hey, we don't want to do that. We want to become this. We want to go to trade school. I want to become a carpenter. I want to become a mechanic. So be it if that's what they love.
There you go. And my advice I give to young people, I used to mentor some people when I was at SAP, is when you see a little crack of light coming through the window or the door seems to be a little open, kick open the door, raise the window and see what is on the other side. There might be an opportunity that could change your life, that could make your life better, that could make you more interesting to yourself and to the world. I started SAP Game Changers Radio on a whim, Tom. I had years of experience as an AM studio host on terrestrial radio, and somebody said maybe internet radio, and I came up with this idea completely out of the blue. Went to my manager and said, "Let me start a thought leadership roundtable live." It was before we had the Zoom video, but let me do this on the phones. You remember the early days, and let me get people. And we're not going to sell. We're just talking about. And she said, okay. And the first series, Coffee Break with Game Changers, turned into 48 different series over 9 years with millions of listeners around the world. But I said to myself, I know how to do it. I think I know how to do it. I think I can do it. I'm going to give it a try. So there you go. Make sure that door is open. Oh, Tom, I think we have somebody who wants to say something to you. Tom, I am so thrilled that you were here. That's the first time we've had audience applause on the show. I am absolutely delighted. Oh, wait, no. You know what? Those directors, they're still bothering me. I'm going to have to get rid of them. I'm going to play the outro music for this show. Let me see if I can find it here. I got so many. Let's do the outro music for Technology Revolution. Okay.
Are you tired of hearing the future is already here?
Yep.
We are too. That may have been yesterday's future, but today's future hasn't happened yet. Take a deep breath, tune out the hype, the noise, and turn up the volume. Savvy, art of the possible technology visionaries talking about how today's innovations right now are shaping every aspect of our real future.
Yes.
We'll laser focus our spotlight on buzzworthy tech like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, augmented reality, and lots more. Clear your calendar and open your mind for Technology Revolution, the future of now. With the most upbeat host on global radio, Bonnie D. Graham. Listen anywhere, anytime, on any device.
Thank you very much. There we go. Tom M., it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Let's wave goodbye to the audience who will find us on demand because they weren't here live, but everybody's so busy. Jordan, are we ready to go?